Have you ever felt anxious, mentally exhausted, or emotionally overwhelmed and it didn't seem to make sense? What if part of what you're experiencing isn't just stress, but spiritual warfare affecting your mind? Let's talk about this biblically and responsibly. The Bible is clear the mind is a battlefield. 2 Corinthians 10:3-5 tells us that spiritual warfare happens in our thoughts, imaginations, arguments, and anything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces. That means attacks don't always look dramatic. Sometimes they look like confusion, fear, emotional heaviness, mental fatigue. Biblical example: even Elijah, a powerful prophet, experienced deep discouragement after spiritual victory. In 1 Kings 19, we see that his emotional state wasn't ignored by God. God didn't rebuke him. God didn't shame him. God gave him rest, nourishment, and reassurance. A spiritual attack does not mean you lack faith or you're possessed, or that you don't need professional help. But spiritual pressure can manifest as sudden heaviness or despair, intense anxiety with no clear cause, racing or confused thoughts, loss of peace or spiritual motivation, feelings of isolation or hopelessness. The enemy often exploits emotional wounds, trauma, fatigue, and stress. Important biblical balance. The Bible never teaches us to ignore the mind or the body. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Guard your heart, for out of it flow the issues of life." In Luke 10:34, the Good Samaritan treated wounds practically, not just spiritually. 1 Thessalonians 5:23 reminds us that we are spirit, soul, and body. That means spiritual care and mental health care can work together. Prayer and counseling, scripture and support. That's not unbiblical. That's wisdom. Biblical protection and healing. If you believe you're under spiritual pressure, pray and declare scripture aloud. Psalm 91, Isaiah 54:17. Renounce fear and lies. James 4:7. Stay connected to believers. Ecclesiastes 4:9-12. Rest your body. Exhaustion weakens resistance, and seek professional help when needed. That is strength, not weakness. Spiritual attack does not mean you lack faith, you're weak, or that mental health struggles aren't real. Spiritual pressure can intensify emotional wounds, trauma, stress, and exhaustion. But here's the key truth. God cares about your spirit, soul, and body, not just one part of you. Prayer and scripture matter. So does rest. So does wise counsel and professional help. Final encouragement and call to action. Spiritual attack does not define you, but discernment protects you. God cares deeply about your mind as much as your spirit. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. If this message spoke to you, comment "sound mind" below. Let's stand together in faith. Subscribe for more biblical teaching and encouragement from